Usually when I see something that I like, I know really quickly, there's actually a feeling that is almost like the hairs on the back of your neck sort of stand up and you think, oh, so there's a sense of excitement actually, because those books that come along and make you feel like that, well, they don't come along very often, unfortunately. They don't come along often enough.
When I first read something, I'm really looking for two things, the pitch and the pace. The pitch is what's going to make me start reading. Why should I go to this manuscript over everything else that's in my inbox, or indeed every other book on my shelf?
So there's a real sense of excitement, even after years in the job, when something's good and you know it's good, whether that's because the writing's really good or the idea is really good, it's sort of gut instinct.
Plot and character and other aspects obviously matter hugely, but style, I think particularly for a literary publisher, is one of the first places you start.
Is the writing good enough? It doesn't have to be perfect, we can work on that. But is it a concept, an idea, a story that makes you want to keep on going?
For me, I'm always looking for something fresh, alive, witty, surprising often. Surprise is a sure sign for me that somebody is doing something interesting on the page.
And then the second thing is pace. Once I've started reading, what's keeping me turning the pages? If I get to the end of a chapter, do I actually want to keep reading and see what happens next? And do I want to know what happens at the end of the story?
If you look at the opening lines of books, that's always very interesting. For example, I've just started rereading Beloved by Toni Morrison. I was so struck by the first line. You may have to do this again, but I wrote it down here. 124 was spiteful. 124 was spiteful. That's such a bold opening. 124 refers, of course, to a place, to a house where we rapidly realise something bad has happened. But what a bold beginning, how attention-grabbing that is.
And I know that sometimes I've read something and almost immediately wanted to go and talk to other people about it and tell my colleagues immediately, oh, this is interesting, this is something we should think about seriously.
That's not quite the same thing as knowing that it can be published though. That's really about having a plan.
Is there a market for this book beyond me being excited about it? Can we find an audience for it?
You have to know who you're publishing for and where you're publishing. So as the publisher of Hamish Hamilton as part of Penguin, there's a certain level of sales we need to achieve in order to make things worth doing, although occasionally we might make the decision to publish something purely on literary merit, even though we know that it will sell relatively sparsely. But on the whole, we're looking for books that will also be profitable enough to allow us to keep going and to invest in the writers we already publish as well as we possibly can, and to invest in new writing.